the society have joined you on that side of the divide. We like to say that Professor Mohammed Iqbal Parker, the Secretary, International Union of Biochemistry and Molecular Biology, is with us. A round of applause for him, please. Professor Abidemi Paul Kapo, Vice President, Federation of African Societies of Biochemistry and Molecular Biology, is also with us. Let's recognize him with our applause, please. We also have the President, Federation of African Society of Biochemistry and Molecular Biology, and former President NSBMB, Professor S.L. Bilbis. We welcome you, sir. The President of this society is here in person, Professor Emo Wegu. You are welcome, sir. The former DVCA Abu and a fellow of the society, Professor D.A. Ame, is with us. We recognize and welcome you, sir. Professor Irene A.J. from Umudike Federal University, you are welcome, man. The former HOD at Footmina, Professor Ogbadoyi, we welcome you. And Professor Omorege, fellow of the society, Madam Vice Chancellor, I'm also told, the First Lady of University of Benin, we welcome you, ma'am. Like I said, in this 2026 alone, under the watch of our Vice Chancellor, FUTA won the second position of the 2026 Chief of Army Staff essay competition, and it was presented to our students on Saturday by the Chief of Army Staff himself. A round of applause for FUTA. A research paper from this university in the School of Engineering last week was declared the best by the Committee of Deans of Engineering and Technology in Nigeria. A round of applause for FUTA. Coded Southwest competition 2 weeks ago, FUTA came first. For the national 2026 National Young Ocean Scholars competition, out of about 36 universities in Nigeria, FUTA also came first. For 2026, FUTA is the AI University of the Year. And for STEP, that very important program organized by MTN for 2026, FUTA came second. A round of applause for this great citadel of academic excellence under the watch of our redoubtable Vice Chancellor. I'd like to invite my colleague, Taye Fagui, to take over the proceedings from here.
Thank you very much, distinguished ladies and gentlemen. I would like to invite Professor Obi Bills to take the welcome address on behalf of Professor Mohammed K. Abubakar. Please, shall we applaud him as he comes?
My Vice Chancellor and my sister, the Secretary General of International Union of Biochemistry and Molecular Biology, Professor Iqbal, my Vice Chancellor, and who is my sister, of this great university, one of the best or the best university of technology in Nigeria, the Secretary General of International Union of Biochemistry and Molecular Biology, Professor Iqbal, the Vice President of First BMB, who is our own, Paul. I'm seeing Professor, should I call it the name or I shouldn't call it the name here? His boss, LMO. Other members of the higher table, His Excellency, my President, President of the NSBMB, the team, fellow members of SBMB, invited guest here, our second coming to AKURE. The last time we were here, I think it was 2009, when Professor Osage of Blaise Momari was the president, and I was the PRO of NSBMB as a 2009, same time also serving as a Northwest coordinator. We had an excellent meeting in 2009, and today we are going to have a grand meeting in 2026, when we have one of our own. She was an executive at that time when we met. Now she is the one hosting us. So thank you, Madam VC, my sister. We sincerely appreciate all what you have been doing, of not only to biochemistry, to also this great university, because you are our ambassador. The theme of this year's, you are our ambassador. The theme of this year's conference is apt, especially picking peace. We know what is Nigeria now. Our prayers should also include peace for our motherland. Then food security. Biochemistry is to play a central role in food security, especially when we also add this with the smart, climate-smart processes and sustainable development for our dear nation, Nigeria. As we meet today, we are going to see presentations from seasoned academics. This is very close to an international conference, because we have the whole Secretary General of the International Union of Biochemistry and Molecular Biology visiting us today. Nigerian biochemists are making waves. The last time we have an activity in Abuja, we also had the president of the International Union of Biochemistry and Molecular Biology. We also have the president of NSBMB here with us today, and also the vice president of NSBMB here with us today. So I don't know whether the president of NSBMB will declare this conference an international conference being hosted by the NSBMB, NSBMB, and IOBMB, because we bring the best of biochemistry of the world to AKURE in 2026. As acting chairman of this, mine is to wish you all the best in today's activity. And the Vice Chancellor, during the courtesy call, she made an important announcement that what is important in the conference is actually the networking. The networking. For Elemo is here. I met him first in 1995 in Shagamu, when we met to resuscitate the then Nigerian Society of Biochemistry. And from 1995 to date, we have been together as family, not as friends. The VC we met, I think about 35 years ago, in a conference like this. And since then, we have been friends and family. So make best use of this opportunity, network, make friends. Life requires friends and well-wishers. At times, your friends are more important to you than your relations. Your relations, they have so many of the relations in the family to talk to. But friends is the person you call when you are in need of a shoulder to cry, an email to reply, and a letter to reply. So use the opportunity and network and make friends as you come to AKURE. This is home of hospitality. I wish you all the best, and I will be moving around, not as Kaoji now, but as Bilbis, to see my friends. I've seen some faces that I have not seen for quite some time. I've even seen the international biochemists sitting somewhere there right away from Kaduna. So this is one of the best attended conference for NSBMB, because I've seen people across the 6 geological zone coming to AKURE. My Vice Chancellor and my sister, we appreciate all the hospitality, and fellows for attending. We wish you an excellent presentation and excellent deliberations. All the best. May God be with Nigeria. May God bring peace to our motherland. Thank you.
Thank you very much. We have in the House the Executive Governor of Ondo State, Honorable Lucky Orimisan Ayedatiwa, is ably represented by the Ondo State Commissioner for Education, Science and Technology, Professor Igbekele Ajibefun. We also have in the House, I would like to introduce and to join our guest on the high table, our Fellow of the Society, our Commissioner for Youth Development in Ebonyi State, Professor Obasi Nwogo Ajuka. At this point, I would like to bring to the podium the Chairman, Local Organizing Committee, Professor A.C. Akimoladun, for his welcome address.
The special guest of honor, Honorable Professor Igbekele Amos Ajibefun, Honorable Commissioner for Education, thank you. All right. The special guest of honor, Honorable Professor Igbekele Amos Ajibefun, the Honorable Commissioner for Education, Science and Technology, Ondo State, our distinguished Chairman of the opening ceremony, Professor Kauji Abubakar, OFR, ably represented by Professor Bilbis, the President of the Federation of African Society of Biochemistry and Molecular Biology, the chief host, our own Professor Adenike Temidayo Oladiji, FAS, NSBMB, Vice Chancellor, Federal University of Technology, AKURE, and esteemed members of the University Management Team, the host and president of the Nigerian Society of Biochemistry and Molecular Biology, Professor Matthew Wego, FNSBMB, and members of the National Executive Council of NSBMB, the keynote speaker, Professor Mohammed Parker, Secretary General of the International Union of Biochemistry and Molecular Biology, the Olumba Basia Memorial Lecturer, Professor Abidemi Paul Capo, who is also the Vice President of the Federation of African Societies of Biochemistry and Molecular Biology, our distinguished plenary speakers, our distinguished Vice Chancellors and former Deputy Vice Chancellors who are here, captains of industry, our own Dean of SLS, Professor Oladumoye, heads of departments here present, fellows and members of the society, our international delegates who are here, we have a couple of them, students, members of the press, ladies and gentlemen. It is with immense joy and profound gratitude that I welcome you all to this 42nd Scientific Conference and Annual General Assembly of our great society, the Nigerian Society of Biochemistry and Molecular Biology. On behalf of the Department of Biochemistry, Federal University of Technology, AKURE, and the local organizing committee, I thank you all for honoring our invitation and for joining us for what promises to be an intellectually stimulating and memorable scientific gathering. We are particularly honored that FUTA has been entrusted with hosting this prestigious conference. It is indeed a privilege to welcome such an impressive assembly of brilliant scientists, accomplished scholars, industry leaders, policymakers, young researchers, and students from Nigeria and beyond. Your presence reflects our shared commitment to advancing the frontiers of biochemistry and molecular biology for the benefit of humanity. Biochemistry and molecular biology remain central to scientific discovery and innovation. It provides the molecular understanding that underpins advances in medicine, agriculture, biotechnology, environmental sustainability, nutrition, and industrial development. Today, more than ever before, these disciplines are indispensable in addressing the complex challenges confronting our nation and the global community. The theme of this year's conference, Biochemistry and Molecular Biology for Peace, Health, Food Security, and Climate-Smart Sustainable Development in the AI era, aptly reflects this reality. It challenges us to harness emerging technologies, particularly artificial intelligence, alongside advances in biochemistry and molecular biology to develop innovative solutions that improve human health.
If they are not set, we'll go to the next program. They are set? Okay, they are coming.
Because of this club,
My father!
many people are dying.
My
Father,
father!
find something to do.
I am not happy with the situations around me. In fact, I have sleepless nights. I was
This is
so that I can do your own, Mr. Chairman.
Commissioners.
Báwo ni?
Morning, sir.
Chairman.
God bless
Báwo
you.
doyin?
Ẹ pẹ̀lẹ́. Morning, ma.
Àrẹ́wúrọ̀ sọ.
Ẹ má bínú, ẹ má bínú.
What do you have there?
You know, I'm very sorry for policy and assistance. It's very loaded. You see, there is a town. There are hazard issues. There are water, agriculture, every farm, children and adults, We
And this is to tell you that, please watch the food you eat, the water you drink, the technology provided, use it wisely. Use it wisely. Yes, sir. And you will live in good health and long life. See, my people, let's feast. Let's feast.
Our team. I said it earlier. I said we are not only technology for self-reliance, but we are excellent in culture, tradition, sports, name it. Another big round of applause for the Federal University of Technology, AKURE. We are moving ahead in the program, and I would like to welcome to the podium the President, NSBMB, Professor Wegu, for his address. Quickly, I would like to bring to the top table the Commissioner for Youth Development in Ebonyi State, is a fellow of the Society, Professor Obasi Nwogo Ajuka. Please, you are welcome to the top table.
Your Excellency, the Governor of the only sunshine state in Nigeria, ably represented by the Commissioner for Science and Technology, the Vice Chancellor of the Federal University of Technology, AKURE, the Chairman of the occasion, distinguished representatives of government, captains of industry, keynote and plenary speakers, special guests, members of the academia, research scientists, research scientists, stakeholders, colleagues, fellow students, gentlemen of the press, ladies and gentlemen. It is with a deep sense of gratitude and responsibility that I welcome you all to the 42nd Scientific Conference and General Assembly of the Nigerian Society of Biochemistry and Molecular Biology, being hosted by the Federal University of Technology, AKURE, an institution with a proud history of academic excellence and national relevance. And in fact, this morning we were told that this university is the best University of Technology in Nigeria. Put your hands together. May I, on behalf of the National Executive Council and the entire membership of our society, extend our warmest fraternal greetings and heartfelt appreciation to participants who traveled from different parts of the country to be part of this important gathering amidst credible security threats. Majority of those who would have loved to be here from my own area couldn't because they were afraid they will be kidnapped. I'm very proud of all of you. The presence of the executive members of the International Union of Biochemistry and Molecular Biology, IUBMB, the Federation of African Societies of Biochemistry and Molecular Biology, FASBMB, including renowned scientists and researchers from other parts of Africa and beyond, is sincerely appreciated and highly acknowledged. Distinguished researchers, your presence and the participation in this conference is a demonstration of our collective commitment to the advancement of scientific knowledge and the will to harnessing its transformative power of sustainable development of our dear country, Nigeria. Ladies and gentlemen, the theme of this year's conference, Biochemistry and Molecular Biology for Peace, Health, food security and climate-smart sustainable development in the artificial intelligence era is timely and strategic. This is obvious as humanity stands at a critical crossroads where persistent health challenges, food insecurity, environmental degradation, climate change, and social instability continue to threaten sustainable development. Interestingly, unprecedented advances in AI are reshaping the manner that we carry out research, including generation of knowledge, diagnosing of diseases, improvement in agricultural productivity, and management of natural resources. Fellow biochemists and molecular biologists, may it always be fresh on our minds that we truly occupy a unique position in addressing these seemingly intractable challenges. At the heart of scientific innovation lies our discipline, providing fundamental insights into the molecular mechanisms that govern life and life processes. It is common knowledge that from prevention of diseases and precision medicine to biotechnology, sustainability of the environment, and agricultural resilience, our contributions remain indispensable to the survival of mankind. Distinguished guests, the presence of AI offers interesting opportunities for accelerating scientific discoveries. As we now know, through AI-driven data analysis, predictive modeling, drug discovery, genomic research, and system biology, a new era in which scientific solutions are rapidly and effectively developed has evolved. These opportunities require responsible leadership, ethical engagement, interdisciplinary collaboration, and a renewed commitment to the use of scientific knowledge for the common good. Fellow scholars, this conference, therefore, provides the necessary and valuable platform for intellectual exchange, critical reflection, and collaborative engagement. I am confident, ladies and gentlemen, that we shall listen to scholars who would share groundbreaking research findings, including research products. We shall as well explore emerging technologies, mentor young scientists, and strengthen partnerships that can meaningfully contribute to the progress of the global community. May I humbly encourage participants to actively and purposefully engage in the scientific sections, workshops, and networking activities. May we not use this opportunity to showcase our achievements in research only, but also to generate innovative ideas and creative solutions with capacity for advancing peace, improve public health, strengthen food systems, promote environmental sustainability, and contribute to the attainment of sustainable development goals. Fellow students and earlier career researchers, kindly be reminded that you represent the future of our profession and the next generation of scientific leaders. You are therefore encouraged to take full advantage of the opportunities provided by this conference to learn, interact, and build meaningful collaboration that will enrich your careers and contribute to the advancement of science in the continent and beyond. Eminent biochemists and molecular biologists, I am confident that our deliberations will surely inspire innovative research, strengthen scientific network, influence evidence-based policies, and, most importantly, promote sustainable solutions to our society's numerous intractable problems. May our discussions be fruitful, our interactions enriching, and our outcomes impactful. God bless NSBMB. God bless the Federal Republic of Nigeria. Thank you.
Let's sustain the applause for the President. Distinguished ladies and gentlemen, His Excellency, ably represented, let me now welcome our Vice Chancellor as the chief host of this conference, Professor Adenike Temidayo Oladiji, for our address.
Thank you very much. Can I come up a little bit so I don't have to? Is it okay? Thank you. His Excellency, the Executive Governor of Ondo State, a friend of our university, Governor Lucky Orimisan Ayedatiwa, who is ably represented here today by our own, the Honorable Commissioner for Education, Science and Technology, Professor Igbekele Ajibefun. The Commissioner for Youth in Ebonyi State, Professor Obasi Ajuka, a fellow of our society. The chairman of this occasion, the former Minister for Science and Technology of our great country, a distinguished biochemist, Professor Kaoje Abubakar, who is ably represented here today by another distinguished biochemist who is more than qualified to be here also with us. I'll come back to him. The Secretary General of the International Union of Biochemistry and Molecular Biology, who also is the keynote speaker. The President of the Federation of African Society of Biochemistry and Molecular Biology, Professor Lawal Bilbis, a former president of our society, a fellow of our society, and a two-time Vice Chancellor in this great country of ours. Is also a brother and a friend. The Vice President also of the FASBMB, who also is the Olumbe Basia lecturer of today. I think about 8 years ago, I gave the Olumbe Basia lecture. The wife of a colleague of ours, the Vice Chancellor of University of Benin, is here in our own right as a distinguished biochemist, Professor Omar Rege. The Excellency, our own President NSBMB, Professor Wigwe, and members of NEC, other invited speakers, elder statesmen here present in our midst. I can see Professor Elema. I've not seen him in 500 years. Mrs. Ajayi is here, Professor Mrs. Ajayi, the former acting Vice Chancellor of Ekiti State University. Professor Ogbado is here, Professor Ije, Professor Ame, and many others. It is indeed a gathering of great men and women. The Dean School of Life Sciences here in Futa, the head of Department of Biochemistry, that is my HOD. If he says I should not be paid, I will not be paid. And he also doubles as the chairman of the LOC. I can see my brother and friend, Professor Adeyemi. Welcome. All the way from F4 room. Other LOC members, distinguished participants, staff and students, gentlemen of the press, ladies and gentlemen. I am delighted to stand before you as the chief host of the 42nd Scientific Conference and Annual General Meeting of the Nigerian Society of Biochemistry and Molecular Biology, holding here at the Federal University of Technology, AKURE in Ondo State. And I therefore like to welcome you to Ondo State. We pride ourselves as the Sunshine State. The supervisor is here. If you don't mind, let us come together to discuss with you, and we discuss the matter together. And as we finished the discussion, the supervisor asked me, he said, ma'am, if you don't mind, when we finish, when this student is ready, will you be kind enough to want to examine her? And I said that was the first thesis I examined at OAU. The lady in question, we still met, I think 2 years ago when she came here again to Futa to attend the OWSD conference. She had since finished her PhD and has moved on. And that's why I said, when we come for this type of conferences, I urge our elder statesmen to please mentor we younger people. And I also plead that the younger people will make themselves available and accessible to our elder statesmen. Some people are here amongst us, they are as old as the society. I must recognize when I was talking about elder statesmen, you know, you forget your own people at home. Professor Akindansi is here, he's one of our living legends. So please let our young people allow the older people to mentor them. The objective is to ensure that we have biochemists that can stand for themselves anywhere. The kind of training that we have as biochemists position us to stand well and to stand firm when we have the opportunity of standing. So we must be well trained and well mentored. I continue to thank the people that have mentored me. On this note, distinguished ladies and gentlemen, it is my singular honor and privilege to formally declare the 42nd Scientific Conference and Annual General Assembly of the Nigerian Society of Biochemistry and Molecular Biology officially open. Thank you, and God bless you.
Let's sustain the applause for our Vice Chancellor, the chief host for this conference. The Federal University of Technology, AKURE, donates registrars and vice chancellors to different universities across Nigeria. Just by the grace of God, tomorrow, the incoming Vice Chancellor of Adekunle Ajasin University, Akungba Akoko, Professor Tomola Marshal Obamuyi, is our own from the Federal University of Technology, AKURE, and it will be inaugurated tomorrow. Before I invite His Excellency, I want to speak on Professor Igbekele Ajibefun, representing the Governor of Ondo State. He is the former rector, Rufus Giwa Polytechnic, Owo. He is the former Vice Chancellor, Adekunle Ajasin University, Akungba Akoko, and now the present Commissioner for Education, Science and Technology in Ondo State. He is our own. Join me as I invite His Excellency, Honorable Lucky Orimisan Ayedatiwa, ably represented by Honorable Igbekele Ajibefun, the Ondo State Commissioner for Education, Science and Technology, as he takes his speech.
Thank you very much. The Vice Chancellor of this great university, the Federal University of Technology, AKURE, Professor Adenike Temidayo Ladiji, the chairman of this great occasion, the president of Nigeria Society for Biochemistry and Molecular Biology, the chairman of the planning committee for this great and important conference, our guest speaker, keynote speaker from South Africa, Professor Mohammed Parker, all the other distinguished guests who are on the top table, the great scientists who are gathered here today for this important conference. I'm here today to represent our amiable governor, Dr. Lucky Orimisan Ayedatiwa, who is unavoidably absent at this conference. Our governor is a lover of education. Education is one of the key pillars of his administration, and that is why he has invested so much and is still investing into education in Ondo State. He would have loved to be here, but because of other important assignments, he is a friend of the university. So any important program at the university here, he would love to attend. But today, he has asked me to represent him for reasons that are beyond his control. So I'm standing here to represent him. He has sent his goodwill message to the Vice Chancellor of this great university and to the Nigeria Society for Biochemistry and Molecular Biology, and he congratulates you for this important conference. And I also want to congratulate our Vice Chancellor, Professor Adenike Oladiji, for hosting this conference. She is the chief host, and I want to congratulate all of you, all members of Nigeria Society for Biochemistry and Molecular Biology, because one of you is the Vice Chancellor here, and she is your host. She is a great biochemist, and she is also a great Vice Chancellor. The Vice Chancellor has just produced another Vice Chancellor who is resuming tomorrow at the Adekunle Ajase University, Akongba Akoko, Professor Bamuyi. So, Vice Chancellor, I want to thank you for the great job you are doing at the Federal University of Technology, AKURE. You have brought development to FUTA, and the impact of your administration is clear to everybody. You have provided the enabling environment for this conference to hold, as well as other conferences and other good things that are happening in FUTA. We are very proud of you. We are very proud of your achievement. We are also very proud of FUTA. Yes, this conference is important. It is a conference that is all-embracing. The theme is Biochemistry and Molecular Biology for peace, for health, for food security, and for climate-smart sustainable development. It is an all-embracing theme. Yes, it has covered almost every area. It means that the issues you are going to discuss here today, they are issues that are very, very important for Nigeria, for Nigeria's development. There is strong correlation between research and development. And what you are going to discuss at this conference are outcomes of groundbreaking researches that you have carried out in different areas. And the outcome of this conference is expected to lead to significant policy as well as adoption of your product by industry. And for this reason, the conference is very, very important for every one of us. And although I won't be able to stay for the whole period, but it will interest me to see the outcome of this conference, so that it can go beyond presentation, it can go into policy, and it can also lead to development. Once again, I want to congratulate this society for what you are doing, and also to congratulate the Vice Chancellor. I wish you a successful conference. Thank you, and God bless you.
Another round of applause for His Excellency. Before we take the keynote speech, I quickly want to invite Dr. Nasir Imam for a very little function here. Thank you very much.
We also like Efe, Professor Efe, to come.
Permit me to stand on the protocol already established during the course of this meeting. I am Professor Efe Umwirire, a lawyer and a biochemist, a member of the committee that was involved in the purchase of land at Kefi. It may interest you to know that a land has been purchased for a secretariat for the Nigeria Society of Biochemistry and molecular biology. And the conveyance or the deed of conveyance is right here with me in the custody of the legal unit. As the land was purchased, there are a number of things that are supposed to be done on the land. For example, the statutory certificate of occupancy is still in progress, but I can assure you that the land is free from all encumbrances, legitimate, legal, moral, religious, and otherwise. Number two, the land requires development, because the implication is that when we develop the land, number one, we appreciate the value of the land. When we develop the land, number two, we also add value to the land. When we develop the land, number three, we secure the property kept in trust in the hand of the neck, for the purpose of, preservation for the biochemists that are alive, the biochemists yet unborn, and the biochemists, yet to be incubated. Number four, the land, requires the fact that it's going to be used to develop the course of biochemistry in Nigeria, Africa, and in the world. And for that process, we realize there will be need to do a perimeter fencing around the land. Not only that, to create some access road to be able to make the land drainage, make land useful for everyone. And to do this, it requires funding. And the funding is not coming from anywhere, but it's coming from you, it's coming from me. It's against this background that in that land there are a number of things that are going to be put there. Number one, they will put in a conference center. Then number two, a research laboratory that will bring biochemists from far and near to do research, to be able to find solution, to a number of things. And for this, there is the need for us, to be alive to our responsibility so that we'll be able to come together as one and say, this is our own. In fact, a society that develops its property will always prosper together. Thank you for listening.
Thank you very much, our legal advisor, NSBMB, Prof. I will not take much of our time to present what he has just made mention. This is the piece of the land. Please. The piece of the land, you can see it on the screen. The carved green is the piece of the land. And then the proposed NSBMB complex that we intend to do. But at the moment, we want to do the perimeter fence, the gate house to secure the land and have some access road. Please, can we have the complex, please? It's going to be a kind of a state-of-the-art facility of NSBMB, not just for Nigeria, but globally, where research, okay, this is the complex, that's the proposed complex. Please go to the next page so that we can have the component of what the complex is going to be. So it's going to have, we have the main theater hall with a total seat capacity of a proposed 200 to 600 seater, and 6 lecture rooms with a total seat capacity of about 30 to 40, and 20 offices with 1 seat capacity each, 10 laboratory rooms of different size and functionality. Number 2, 3 units of 1-bedroom suites. Number 3, 3 units of self-contained storage. Okay, yes. Number 3, 3 units of 1-bedroom suites, 10 units of self-contained cafeteria, canteen, and some shops. Main entrance gate and security house is what we want to start with first, because it's what will help us to secure the land. Sport complex, these activities. Then number 7, powerhouse and water treatment system, parking lots of about 70 capacity, then landscaping. That's just a summary of what we intend to have in the NSBMB complex. Maybe the other pictures can be shown to see the concept design. When everything is concluded, we're going to have a detailed design for that. At this juncture,
like my prof did mention, this project is for me, for you, for all of us. Not just, we cannot expect people outside to come and develop these kind of things for us. We have, even if we bring some outside, we have to start doing something to show that, yes, this is what we have done, and then we need the support of others outside. I can, let me acknowledge my mentor, Vice Chancellor, we are in the University of Ilorin, that is the village of Dr. Yole. She has been very great, and I'm very happy to come up beside her as the Vice Chancellor of University of AKURE, University of Technology AKURE. At this juncture, with the little that I have in my pocket, I'll start putting my something inside, so that I know the governor is here, represented by the commissioner. My elders are here. Please, let's do something that we can encourage and support this thing. With a little talking of 1 million naira to start with. Thank you very much. Nigerian Society of Biochemistry and Molecular Biology. Yesterday, myself and Iqbal were discussing if we Nigerians can have GIS ready, the IAEA may consider or might consider providing training facilities in this place, and also might consider a kind of continuous support for the center to be a training facility for biochemistry and molecular biology, not only in Nigeria, for the African continent. So for us to achieve this, we, the Nigerian biochemists and molecular biologists, must do our own bit. Our bit is to see to the realization of this complex. And we can only do that when we contribute our naira and kobo. And the big masquerade among us, the Elenos, the Afolabis, the VCs, the First Ladies, His Excellency, and the commissioners, and the well-to-do among us, to put their hand in their pocket. No amount is too small, and no amount is too much for this very important project. Please, we appreciate whatever assistance you can give in terms of in kind or in cash. Probably you know somebody who can approach, probably somebody we can, I don't want to use the word intimidate, but we can go in number to the extent that you will not say no. Please do whatever you can do, humanly possible, to have this structure ready for Nigerian biochemistry and molecular biology. Thank you. All the best.
He's from Ebonyi State, that state where we produce rice. He has been very, very, very helpful to us. In fact, I have the honor to inform us that recently he gave us 1,000 US dollars, and that enabled us to pay our annual IUBM 2027. So, sir, you know, we are not tired of begging you, show you. So, and we are looking for 50 to 20 million naira. Help us say something.
Thank you so much. Let me stand on the already established protocol. Indeed, I am excited by the courage and innovative leadership which this set of the executive of the Nigerian Society of Biochemistry and Molecular Biology has provided. It also gives me immense joy to be here to see my very senior colleagues and teachers, like Professor Ma, Edido. I welcome you, sir. Well, this supporting this event is a dream that I have been looking forward to. It is not how much that we put in today that will build it, but a continuous support. For the start, I will support it one way.
I like the competence to invite the executive opener of the Sunshine State. I like the competence. So, but I will do it in a very wonderful way. The Vice Chancellor, who is my sister, my big sister,
distinguished ladies and gentlemen, before we go for the tea break, we quickly want to take the keynote speech. And I have the privilege and honor to invite the Dean, School of Life Sciences, FUTA, Professor Kola Oladumoye, to introduce the keynote speaker and take his citation.
Okay. Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. You are welcome. May I invite Professor Mohammed Iqbal Paka to come here so that we read his citation. Okay. This is the short profile of our keynote speaker for this conference. Professor Mohammed Iqbal Paka is Emeritus Professor of Medical Biochemistry and Structural Biology at the University of Cape Town, South Africa, and co-founding director of the ICGEB Cape Town component. His research interests are in the areas of molecular biology and genetics of cancer, focusing specifically on genetic aberration in cancer susceptibility, biomarkers for early cancer detection using a whole genome sequencing approach. Is a founding member of the Academy of Science of South Africa, member of the Academy of Science of South Africa, and served as the General Secretary between 2000 and 2004. He was the Vice President, African Academy of Sciences, AAS, between 2020 and 2023. He is a member of the Inter-Academic Partnership, IAP, Biosecurity Working Group. He was president of the South Africa Society of Biochemistry and Molecular Biology between 1998 and 2001. Professor Parker served as the Secretary General of the Federation of African Societies of Biochemistry and Molecular Biology between 1996 and 2003. He was an executive chair of Committee on Symposia at the International Union of Biochemistry and Molecular Biology between 2006 and 2015. In 2021, he was elected to the IUBMB Executive Committee as the General Secretary. He is a recipient of the National Science and Technology Forum Award for outstanding contribution in science, engineering, and technology. The South African Society of Biochemistry and Molecular Biology, NSBMB, Global Medal for his contribution to biochemistry, and the Oetul Medal by the Cancer Association of South Africa for significant contribution to cancer research. Ladies and gentlemen, we have with us now the keynote speaker, a former secretary of the South African Society of Biochemistry, the current secretary of the International Union of Biochemistry, Professor Mohammed Iqbal Paka, as our keynote speaker. Thank you.
Good afternoon, everyone. Vice Chancellor, the distinguished Honorary Commissioner for Higher Education, and distinguished guests. It is my pleasure to be here this morning to deliver this plenary talk on behalf of the IUBMB. I'm excited to be back here in Nigeria. I've been here on many occasions, but it's indeed great news that the NSBMB has bought the property and is looking forward to build a center for training of young scientists, biochemists, and molecular biologists. So it's indeed a great step forward, and I congratulate the NSBMB for its forward thinking and its contribution and service to biochemistry and molecular biology. So before I proceed with my talk, I thought I would give a brief introduction to the IUBMB. If I can have the first slide. The International Union of Biochemistry and Molecular Biology. Can I change the slide? Okay. Okay, the International Union of Biochemistry. Yeah, okay. Yeah, okay. Is committed to supporting the advancement of biochemistry and molecular biology globally. Oops, the slide is and there are several regional organizations. There are 4 regional organizations, the one based in Asia, FASBMB in Africa, FEBS in Europe, and PABMB in the Americas. It includes both North and South America. And this map shows you the member countries of the IUBMB. And what is disappointing, you can see if you look at the continent of Africa, there are very few societies of biochemistry and molecular biology. The most of the continent is blank, and we are working with FASBMB to expand the number of biochemistry societies on the continent and make sure that the opportunities are open to all the young biochemists and molecular biologists on the continent. This is the executive of the IUBMB. The president is Dario Alessi from the UK. Unfortunately, he couldn't be present today, and he gives his apologies. And you can see that the members of the executive committee comes from all over. The past president is from the United States. The incoming president or president-elect is from India. I am from South Africa. The treasurer is from Italy. The meetings counselor is from Chile. And the publications counselor is from Australia. And the education counselor is from Malaysia. And what does the IUBMB do? It funds congresses every 3 years globally, and I'll come back to that. It also funds focus meetings, about 1 to 2 meetings a year. We have awards and lectures, educational workshops, advanced schools, young scientist programs, specific IUBMB FEBS events and fellowships programs. I'll go into those. The tri-annual congresses, the previous one is held in Melbourne in Australia. The next one will be next year in Cape Town, South Africa. And in 2030, the Congress will be in Madrid, sorry, not Madrid, in Seville, in Spain. And in sorry, that should be 2033, not 3033. In 2033, the Congress will be in Busan, in Korea. So you can see we plan well in advance for these congresses. And the Congress in South Africa, we already have a number of prominent speakers. The plenary speaker or Jubilee Award speaker will be Emmanuel Charpentier, who won the Nobel Prize for the development of the CRISPR-Cas technology for gene editing and gene splicing. And there are a number of other prominent speakers that I will not go through for the interest of time, but it is next year, 19 to 23 September, and I hope that we will see a good contingent from Nigeria at the Congress. Contrary to what you see in the press, we do have some problems with individuals who are making a scene out of foreigners in South Africa, but that is a minority view and it's a small group of people, but as usual the press always likes to blow things out of proportion. So I urge you to come, it's perfectly safe, and I hope to welcome you to Cape Town next year. The focused meetings, we have 1 to 2 meetings a year. The IUBMB sponsors these meetings to the tune of about $50,000 US per meeting. And we had a meeting last year in New Zealand. This year we'll have one in India, and in 2027 the call is open. And so if anybody here wishes to arrange a meeting, a focus meeting on a specific topic, the call is open for that meeting. We also have Jubilee Awards, lectures and plenary lectures. So we award, the Jubilee Award is the highest award that the IMB offers, and the Jubilee Award winner is required to do a lecture at the Congress, and that is where Emmanuel Charpentier will give the talk. We also sponsor plenary lectures. So if the Nigerian Society of Biochemistry and Molecular Biology hosts a meeting in the future, it can apply for funding for a plenary lecture, and this should usually be a lecture of outstanding quality, world-recognized speaker on the topic of their talk. Then we have several educational workshops and advanced schools that we sponsor. These also can be applied for intermittently. We have typically 2 to 3 educational workshops a year. And we award fellowships. We have various fellowship programs. We have specific fellowships for African students. So we've got the Pro Bio Africa FEBS fellowships that's open to African students to visit a lab in Europe, to work there for 3 to 6 months and come back to their home countries to learn the technique, etc. And there are various other fellowships, the Young Scientist fellowships, coupled with the congresses. So next year in Cape Town we will have the Congress, and before the Congress we'll have a Young Scientist Fellowship program, and these fellows are funded. So again, FASBMB will make available funding for a number of African fellows to attend the Congress. But if you go to our website, you can find more details about these fellowships. And we also publish a number of journals. These journals have good impact factors. Molecular aspects of medicine, for example, has an impact factor of 12. Aspects of molecular medicine has an impact factor of almost 4. And so these journals have good impact factors. And we also have a trainee initiative where young scientists run their own programs, they run seminars, series, etc., And each of the regions, so on the top you see the Asian region, the Africa region, the FEBS region, and the PABB region, all have young scientists that participate and run their seminar series and programs. So I encourage the young scientists to get involved in this program. And so hopefully that gives you a brief introduction to what the IUBMB does. If you need more information, I'll be available during the coffee breaks and lunch breaks to talk to people. And for my presentation today, I thought that I will, given the topic, look at personalized or precision medicine in Africa and what that holds for Africa. Is it important in Africa? Is it achievable, and what are the obstacles? Now, personalized medicine, I'll briefly go through what is personalized medicine or genomic medicine, what the significant advances are, and what are the implications for Africa. And one of the important features of personalized medicine is that we are all unique. Every individual, as we sit here, we are unique, and our health is determined not only by our genetic makeup, but the interaction of our genes with our lifestyle and the environment. So it's a three-way interaction. So we all could be exposed to the same agent, but we will all respond differently. So personalized medicine is a move away from the one-size-fits-all approach. You know, traditionally, you go to the doctor and you have, let's use an easy example, you have a headache and you get a tablet, but each of us will respond differently. One tablet may knock me out, but 2 tablets may not knock out the next person. And so we need to take into account how each individual will respond. And so we need to, personalized medicine is there for the treatment and care of patients to better manage their health, and the introduction of targeted therapies to achieve the best outcomes for the patients, and also to predict the disease or predisposition to the disease based on the genetics. So we need to move away. We need to realize that a single medication may have a positive effect on one person, may have no effect on another person, and have adverse effects on another person, the same medicine. And so the one size fits all is that you have a group of those different colors indicate genetically diverse patients, and you treat them all with the same medicine. So what we want to see happening in personalized or precision medicine is you break down your patients, you do the genomics, and you have informed by the genomics, you then prescribe the medication suited for that patient, so that not each patient will get the same medication, but the medication that suits that patient. And so personalized medicine is an interaction between personal genomics, our genetic makeup, and also pharmacogenomics. So because the drugs will be metabolized differently in different individuals. So there are special drugs. I'll skip that one. So the next part I want to address is how practical is personalized medicine in Africa, and how do we go about? Now, in order to do personalized medicine, as I said before, you need to understand the genome. And unfortunately, most of the research on DNA sequencing, if you look at all the databases, it focuses on European populations, American populations, and we are all different. And there is very little information on the African genome. So if you look at the databases, the African genome data constitutes less than 2% of the data on the international databases. And so it's heavily skewed to European populations, and that is an important feature in personalized medicine. So several studies in many populations have shown that there are population-specific polymorphisms, genetic variations that you find in one population and not in another population. So if you look at some of it is discoveries. If you could look at the second bullet, in the Korean Genome Project, they found that there's a variant of a gene that regulates drug metabolism, so that if you treat the patients, they will respond differently to what a person of European descent will respond to the drug. And also it's been shown in Africa, in African studies, that patients co-infected with HIV and malaria respond differently. So when the patient is treated with an anti-malarial and an anti-HIV drug, for example, if they were given efavirenz together with the anti-malarial drug, if the patient has that genetic variant called CYP2B66, it will metabolize the drugs so that the efavirenz neutralizes the fact of the anti-malarial drug, and the anti-malarial drug doesn't work in that patient. However, if you give another anti-HIV drug, such as nevirapine will not affect the anti-malarial drug, so you can co-administer nevirapine with the anti-malarial but not efavirenz with the anti-malarial. So you need to see, does your patient have that cytochrome P450, the cytochrome P450 2B66 variant? Then you shouldn't treat the patient. If the patient has both malaria and HIV, you shouldn't treat the patient with that drug combination. So it's important to, and that CYP2B6 variant is common in the African population and not common in the European population or the American population. So obviously that falls through the cracks. So Nigeria is way down there at 0.3%. And the average for sub-Saharan Africa is 0.4%. So it's very low. If you compare that with countries such as Sweden, where it's 4%, United States, we're at 3.5%, China, it's about 4%. We spend a fraction of that on research. However, if you look at the bottom, Africa spends 1.7% of GDP on military hardware. So we spend more money on war than on health, education, and research and development. And so the way forward is that when governments need to take ownership of research and innovation by increasing expenditure on research and development and healthcare. There's a need to increase capacity development. We need to train our young people into these techniques. We need infrastructure development, such as what the NSBMB is doing. We need infrastructure. We need to keep updated infrastructure and equipment. And we need our philanthropists and our billionaires on the continent needs to come to the party to contribute to scientific endeavors, research and innovation. So I hope that this has been useful, that has given you some insight on not biochemistry and molecular biology in general, but also where we're headed on the continent. Thank you very much.
To see research investment by different African countries on
in the data bank. You said that we have just about 2% contribution. So what can we do to make this better?
Thank you.
LMO, please. Okay, and I've already recognized LMO after that. Yes. Professor LMO, yes.
Thank you. My comment, dovetail to what the Vice Chancellor had just mentioned. A friend in California is developing a drug on Alzheimer, and they carried out clinical tests in Canada, in US, in Europe, but just the FDA had to insist, in Asia, that they have to do clinical tests over there too. But in our own case in Nigeria, for example, or let me say in Africa, what we do is whatever the doctor prescribes here, the medicine prescribed to us is what we take. Most of the drugs we consume here, has no clinical trials actually here. Two, I want to believe that most of these things are driven by the political class, the elites. Even the Genome Project was driven by the president of US and that of England. I'll just say that since we have representative of African group biochemists here, we should keep on drumming it to our political elites, governments in Africa, AU, to keep on insisting that whatever is going to be consumed in Africa, either drugs or even food, as we see now, should have, tests, either in terms of consumption of clinical trials in Africa. Thank you.
Thank you. He's saying his comment. It's a comment, okay. Let him respond to VC, then I'll get back to you. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you, VC. That's an interesting question. Apart from the one aspect that I said, is increased investment in science and technology, because it's quite an expensive exercise to sequence genomes and contribute to the database. What very often happens is that scientists in the West will collaborate with people in Africa, but it's not a true collaboration. The collaboration involves us sending samples to them, and they do all the work, and we get on the paper at the end, and we have made no intellectual input into the work. So what we should do is...
I am not competent to handle this. Luckily, we have the president of NSBMB. Please, I want to humbly appeal to both of you to come and perform this for us, including the president of NSBMB and the vice. Please, we need you, and I can't do this one, sir.
Appreciate you. Thank you so very, very much. Thank you all, and God bless you.
Thank you very much. Before we depart for the tea break, we will have immediately after the Futa national anthem, we are going to have a group photograph sessions, and then thereafter we take the tea break. So I humbly request that we rise first for the futa anthem and then the national anthem.
National progress,